Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Melissa Musulo. I am your new fitness bestie. If you're like millions of people, you might be on a GLP-1 medication like Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, or Zepbound. And while these drugs are absolutely transformational and life-changing for many, including myself, we can still be real about having side effects with this medication. And these side effects can be a challenge. We're talking nausea, constipation, GI issues, a constant feeling that you've got going on. None of these things are fun. But what if I told you that your fridge and your pantry are some of the most powerful tools that you have to not only just cope with these side effects, but minimize them? Today, we're gonna dive into 7 things that you must eat to beat GLP-1 side effects, specifically nausea, constipation, and fatigue. We're gonna give you the science, the data, and give you actionable tips on how to combat side effects. Let's get started. First up, we're gonna tackle that nausea and uncomfortable fullness. The golden rule here is going to be high protein and low fat foods. Why? Well, GLP-1 agonists are going to slow down the gastric emptying, meaning that the food is gonna stay in your stomach longer. And that's great for feeling full. Too much fat in the diet can exacerbate that feeling, which can lead to nausea. Protein, however, gives you the satisfied feeling without that heavy load. So you can think of it this way. Protein is essential for the building and repairing of tissues, but it also signals fullness better than carbs or fats can. So when your stomach is emptying slowly, any heavy, fatty foods that you've eaten are gonna kind of just sit there, and that can trigger that gross feeling that you may have. And data shows that meals with high fat are going to give you even slower gastric emptying, even further than the GLP-1 itself. So when you combine those two together, it's going to amplify that discomfort. So examples for you for lean proteins could be lean chicken breasts, turkey, fish like cod or tilapia if fish is your thing, egg whites, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese. Those are all great sources of lean proteins that you should incorporate more of into your diet when you're on a GLP-1. And the tip here is to prioritize a protein source at every single one of your meals. I like to try to build my meals around the protein, think of what that's going to be first, and then I try to fill in the gaps with carbs and fats to balance all of that out. So prioritize a lean protein source at every meal and make swaps where you can. So instead of going fried chicken, you can go grilled. Swap heavy sauces for something that's light or herb-based. So next up, and this is the elephant in the room for a lot of people who are taking GLP-1s, but it's the constipation. We could talk about it. It is incredibly common for people who are on a GLP-1, but soluble fiber is going to be your friend. Why soluble fiber? It's going to absorb water and it's going to create like a gel-like substance in your stomach. And that substance is going to soften your poo. And then it's going to also make that easier to pass, okay? So unlike insoluble fiber, which will add bulk, soluble fiber will sort of smooth things out to get things going a little bit better for you. I can't believe that I'm on YouTube talking about poop, but here we are. So that slowed gut mobility from the GLP-1 medications can lead to stool hardening. So a review in the Journal of the American Academy of Physicians highlights that dietary fiber, particularly soluble fiber, is a first line of defense against GLP-1 induced constipation, with recommendations of a gradual increase of 25 to 30 grams a day. Okay, so what does that mean? That means that you are going to eat things like oats, chia seeds, flax seeds, apples with the skin, pears, berries, Brussels sprouts, carrots. There are lots of ways that you can add soluble fiber into your diet with natural resources and natural food. So an actionable tip would be to start your day with a good amount of soluble fiber just to get things going on the right track right away the first time of the day. So start your day with an oatmeal, add a teaspoon of chia seeds, or you can start your day with an oatmeal, or you can throw some chia seeds into your yogurt, or even better, if you're going to do a smoothie in the morning, you could throw the chia seeds, the yogurt, a whole bunch of things. You can put the berries and the apples. You can put all of that in there and have a super fibrous morning. Don't forget to increase your water when you are increasing your fiber intake. That's my one key of advice. Drink that water. And speaking of drinking that water, you have probably heard it a million times, but it's true. And this goes for when you're not on a GLP-1. It's not just about water. You're going to need electrolyte filled. That's going to combat dehydration, and that's also going to help combat with the fatigue too. So why electrolytes? So sometimes when you're on a GLP-1, you can have this decreased thirst, or because of the nausea, you may not be taking in as much water as you actually should be. And especially if you're experiencing any issues, GI issues like diarrhea, you're losing even more water. You're losing even more vital electrolytes in your body, like magnesium and potassium and sodium. And all of those are crucial for nerve function, muscle contractions, and then maintaining energy levels. So examples of electrolyte-filled fluids could be unsweetened coconut water. You could do bone broth. You could do diluted fruit juice. Electrolyte drink mixes, just make sure that they're sugar-free if possible. And then sometimes even a pinch of salt to your water can do the trick too. So your actionable tip here is keep an electrolyte drink handy. Sip it throughout the day, and especially if you're feeling sluggish. Don't wait until you're thirsty. One of the biggest mistakes that people make when they're on a GLP-1 medication is trying to eat these sort of big traditional meals. And when your stomach is emptying more slowly, that can be a recipe for extreme discomfort. So the fourth item on our list is actually not an item, it's a strategy, and that is small, frequent meals. Why is this a must-do? These medications make you feel really full very quickly. And if you push past that fullness, the food is going to literally sit there and it's going to cause discomfort or can cause reflux. So eating smaller portions throughout the day, eating smaller portions every few hours helps keep your stomach from feeling overloaded. And so that key mechanism of the GLP-1, that reduced rate of gastric emptying, clinical practice guidelines for managing patients say this. On these medications, they're often recommending a 6 mini-meal approach or grazing instead of 3 large meals. This minimizes the pressure and volume in the stomach at any given time and will prevent the feeling of food sitting like a brick. So examples of this would be, instead of having a sandwich for lunch, do the turkey cheese roll-ups without the bread, or half now and then half of the sandwich later. Having a small cup of yogurt with almonds and some berries as an in-between meal is also a great go-to. It could be setting an alarm for every 3 hours, making sure that you're having one of those smaller protein, fiber-rich snacks or meals. Even if you're not hungry, have a tiny little protein snack, have a string cheese, have a protein drink. This is gonna keep your metabolism gently running and sort of prevent you from having that like feast or famine up and down cycle that can lead to severe nausea. Okay, when that wave of queasiness or nausea is going to hit, and it probably will, you're going to need something immediate. This is where the natural power of ginger and peppermint come in. How do these work so fast? Both of these have been used for centuries and the science behind it is super solid. Ginger contains compounds called gingerols and shogols that act on the nervous system more quickly, which is the opposite of what the GLP medication is doing. Helps balance things out. Also, peppermint oil is going to help relax and smooth the muscles of the digestive tract. So for ginger, multiple controlled trials have shown its effectiveness against various types of nausea. A comprehensive review by the Cochrane Group found ginger to be significantly effective in reducing symptoms of nausea. And for a quick fix, reach for a small piece of candied ginger or ginger chews. Just watch the sugar content on those bad boys, okay? Peppermint tea or peppermint capsules also can be used. The menthol compound really helps calm gut spasms too. Who knew? You could have told me that when I was smoking Marlboro menthol lights in the early 2000s and I would have believed you. Okay, so examples would be ginger tea, ginger chews, make sure they're the low sugar ones, peppermint tea, or sipping on flat ginger ale. Tip here could be keeping things like peppermint tea bags, so that if you wake up with morning nausea, you can just make yourself a quick cup. Sometimes a common GLP-1 complaint is waking up with nausea, so having yourself a routine of peppermint tea as soon as you wake up might be something nice that you can soothe your stomach before you're even sort of getting ready for the day. Okay, so we talked about electrolytes and we've talked about water, but let's talk about food that acts like a drink. And we're talking about, of course, water-dense fruits and vegetables. So why do you want to eat your water? Because sometimes just drinking plain water just doesn't do it for us, okay? Not everybody wants to be guzzling down the H2O. Some of us don't like that. And then sometimes a lot of water just makes your stomach feel gross, okay? Especially if your stomach is already full. These foods are going to provide the fluid, the fiber, and all the essential micronutrients that you would need in an easy to digest package. So it's a simple hack, but it's really a highly effective one. Foods like watermelon and cucumber are over 90% water by weight, and so they contribute significantly to daily fluid intake and provide easy digestible fiber, which we love. We love all those things. And the high potassium in many of these types of fruits and vegetables, like bananas and cantaloupe, also aids in electrolyte balance. So you are going to directly combat that fatigue. So examples of these types of foods would be watermelons, cantaloupe, strawberries, cucumbers, bell peppers. Tip here would be like slice up cucumbers, bell peppers, keep them in the fridge so that you can just reach for them when you're looking for a little snack. You can dip them into a little Greek yogurt with, the ranch packets of stuff. Dump that in there with some Greek yogurt. That you got a little Greek yogurt dip. And then you can just get your little crunchy numbers and have a little snack. So there's your tip for number 6. It's crunchy, refreshing, and your stomach is going to thank you for the high volume treat and hydration. And our final must eat item is critical for the days where you really don't feel like eating much at all and you feel like you cannot face solid food in the slightest. And that is going to be lean protein shakes and smoothies. The problem with a severely depressed appetite is not only that you're not eating, but you're not getting the nutrients and the nutrition that you're supposed to be. And that can lead to things like muscle loss, hair loss are common side effects of that. So to combat that, we have to fight for that muscle. And liquids are sometimes an easier way and a more gentle way on your stomach to process than solids. Muscle preservation is going to be crucial for you as you navigate this weight loss. Multiple studies have been done on bariatric patients who have similar appetite suppression to those who are on a GLP-1. And they show that liquid protein supplementation is essential to meet their daily protein goals of 60 to 80 grams, which minimizes muscle loss. Look for plant-based protein powders, and you can mix them with your water or unsweetened almond or oat milk to keep the fat low. Protein powders mixed with water and yogurt with some frozen fruit and some chia seeds. That can be a great little smoothie for you. You can also do things like throw in peanut butter or peanut butter powder that has extra protein in them. If you want something that's a little bit more tasty, if you want to go protein and go do a chocolate protein with some peanut butter, go for it. Have some fun with it. The point is to really just mix in the protein with something else. You can even add in a handful of spinach, which you won't taste. It's just going to add nutrients for you into your little smoothie, and you're gonna have yourself a nice little break. You could also keep your fridge stocked with protein drinks. There are some out there that have 20 to 30 to 40 or more grams of protein per drink. Another little tip that you can do is ask for extra room in your coffee, and instead of putting in a creamer, you can put in some protein shake. That's a good one too. The point is always keep a high quality protein stock, whether that's going to be powder or if it's going to be drinks. And even if you can only manage a half a shake on those days where you just feel like you can't put anything in, you are going to provide your body with enough of the essential building blocks in order to prevent that muscle loss and without stressing your digestive system. So there you have it, the 7 things you absolutely must put into your diet to make your GLP-1 journey smoother without as many side effects. Remember that these medications are a really powerful tool, but nutrition is going to be that foundation that's going to take you through your weight loss journey and beyond for the rest of your life. So which of these tips are you going to try first? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.